Woo! What's going on, guys? Orange Forum coming at you guys today with another video. And today we're talking about another draft pick from Detroit Lions. A little bit more of a deeper dive into some of our picks here. And I'll be talking about our third round pick here, safety Kerby Joseph from the Illinois Fighting Illini. 6'1", 200 pounds. They did sign him to a 4-year deal, $5 million plus contract. Signing bonus of $849 plus $1,000. There was a kind of a little bit of a snag at first about his contract. It had to be refiled by the Detroit Lions because it was disapproved by the NFL. Something to do along the lines of a workout bonus and the language that ensued in that workout bonus. So they got that cleared up. He's all locked up. I believe everybody's locked up, I think, except for Pascal, unless that's happened and I'm not too aware of it. But his stats are 115 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 1 sack, 5 picks, 6 pass breakups. Nothing out of the ordinary. Nothing extraordinary, actually, is what I really meant to say. 4 years at Illinois. Basically, really only a 1-year starter. So, like, we'll get into that too as well. I just got my notes here. But he's a long, fluid athlete. He's a safety, long, fluid athlete. Really great range, skillful playmaker. Mostly lined up in a deep into the backfield with the DBs in a single high safety role. Speed, he processes plays pretty quick. Tracks the ball well. Good hands. He had 5 picks his last year at Illinois. That kind of tells you that a little bit. And can keep up sideline to sideline in the run defense. So you like that about him as well. He's a downhill tackler as well. Can be aggressive at times. He's a former wide receiver as well. He jumped from, he had kind of a different what's it called? Football career, I guess. Different path. Went from a safety to a wide receiver, back to safety. When he was at Illinois, just couldn't really get a position down, if you will. But he ended up being a safety, ending his collegiate career. Good build on him. He's a solid kid at 6'1", 200 pounds. Former track guy too as well, so he's got a little bit of speed and then understands route concepts as well. I think with his wide receiver background, you kind of like that about him too. With the, he's got some positives to his game as well, and you know what I mean. So those are some of his positives. He's got the negatives coming on too. If you want to talk about his 1-year starter, as a 1-year starter, it can be talked about, and that's totally understandable. He might lack some experience. Jumping around from safety back to wide receiver, back to safety again. So never really developed. I'm not going to say he's totally underdeveloped, but he just, it might take some more experience in the NFL. It's probably going to. He needs to clean up some of his visual discipline as well, too. He'll get fooled at times by quarterbacks and their arm motion and then their eyes. So he needs to really work on that, too, as well. Inconsistent a little bit at times with his tackling. Gets too high up on guys. Needs to learn to wrap up more. And then he has to get off his blocks a little bit quicker too. He gets caught up in a block. He kind of gets washed out of the play and kind of forgotten about. So he just needs to kind of get off his blocks a little bit quicker. Use his hands better. Just got to learn how to fight, man. Just got to really learn how to fight and use those hands trying to get off blocks. So he's got a lot of potential to the kid though. But I think for the Detroit Lions, I think he's going to be out there as a third safety. We already have guys like Tracy Walker and Deshaun Elliott out there. But we all know Elliott coming from the Baltimore Ravens. Pretty solid safety. They ended up drafting him. I believe he was a 4th or 5th round pick. Banged up a lot in Baltimore. Banged up a ton. It's a slew of injuries. But right now he's locked up as one of our starters. Personally, I think Deshaun Elliott is more of a strong safety. Kerby Joseph is more of a free safety, I would say. I think he's going to be backing up Tracy Walker. But we will be using in that 4-2-5, like we've talked about too, about this defense. It's changing up. It's going to be more of an attacking defense, especially along the line, especially everywhere on this field. I think it's going to be more of an attacking defense, but you're going to see a lot of 3 safety sets in this defense. And I think Kerby Joseph, being one of those high picks, is going to get a lot of playing time. He's going to get in there. And he's got starter potential. He's got ball hawk potential. The 5 picks is nice. And he's got the only thing I kind of worry about is just his experience, as I kind of alluded to earlier as well. He's got some developing to do. But like I said earlier, the 4-2-5, boom, there's going to be a lot of 3 safeties. You're going to see a lot of safety linebackers switching out, especially and then you're going to see Kerby Joseph coming in as a cover safety. That's basically what he's going to be. You're going to see him on a lot of 2nd and longs, 3rd and longs. He can play the run, but he's not exceptional at it. He's a much better cover safety. And I think that's what the Lions kind of needed. I know they brought in Deshaun Elliott, like we talked about earlier, and if you kind of look at his tape and you kind of listen to that fan base or listen to some of those coaches, they talked about him. He locked up on a lot of tight ends, even though he was a strong safety. Strong safeties have to be able to cover too. They can't just play the run. But Deshaun Elliott's a bigger guy, so he was locked up on a couple tight ends and actually did pretty decent against tight ends. But we all know his injury history. But this defense is going to be a lot of 3 safeties. Like you're going to see 3 safeties. You're going to see 3 linebackers in there at times. You're going to see 2 linebackers and more safeties. It's just going to kind of go with what's going on in game situation. And like I talked about with this kid, he's a cover safety. He's got really good tracking ability. He deciphers plays pretty fast. So I think he's going to get a lot of playing time as a rookie. He could be a guy that's going to need some developing, like we talked about, but that's okay as well too. But I think he gets a lot of playing time, especially on 2nd and 3rd and longs, because he's basically a cover safety. That's what his bread and butter is. So I think he's a good football player. It was a good pick. We needed a safety in this draft. And I remember during this draft too, the Indianapolis Colts, they came up and literally jumped us, pick before, I believe it was. It was the Colts. Well, the Colts jumped somebody. I forget who they jumped. I totally forget who they jumped, but they jumped someone before us. They traded for that team before us, and they ended up taking Nick Cross, the safety out of Maryland. That was the guy that I really, really coveted. That was the kid that I really, really liked, was Nick Cross. But Kerby Joseph, good safety. I didn't have him completely crazy high on my list, but he wasn't far off from Nick Cross. I think we got a good player. Like I said, going to take some time to develop, I think. Didn't really develop as a player that much at Illinois. Jumping from position to position, safety, going back to wide receiver, back to safety, like I said earlier. So it's just, he's going to take some time. But I think he's going to be a good football player for the Detroit Lions. And it's just be a little bit patient with the kid. But he could get thrown right in the fire here because Deshaun Elliott, we just have to be really careful with what's going on with him because he just gets hurt so much. But I think Tracy Walker and Deshaun Elliott are the starters. But then you got Kerby Joseph, Will Harris. Don't know what's going on with him. He's got that safety role that Dan Campbell kind of labeled for him, the cornerback safety. And then you got C.J. Moore, and then you got Juju Hughes and Brady Breeze. So really, in all reality, I think we only have really 3 free safeties, to be honest with you. Walker, Joseph, and C.J. Moore. Some guys are versatile here, so, you could see maybe Brady Breeze playing a little bit of that free safety role as well, too. But Deshaun Elliott, Will Harris, and Juju Hughes and Brady Breeze are basically the strong safeties. And we'll go from there. But Kerby Joseph, young kid coming in. I really liked the way he talked, too, at the rookie minicamp. He kind of reminded me, he seemed a little bit cuckoo. He seemed a little bit crazy, and you kind of want your safeties to be that. You kind of want them to be the kind of the crazy guy in the room, because it takes a pretty crazy guy to play that position, because you're this close away from being a linebacker, pretty much as a safety. You know what I mean? You're just a little bit smaller than a linebacker, or you could be a lot smaller. I'm just saying you're a bit smaller than a linebacker, and you're a bit bigger than a normal corner usually, and you usually see those guys are a little bit crazy. They're a little bit nuts in the room, and the way he was talking at the rookie minicamp, you know, talking about doing backflips off roofs and stuff like that when he was younger. But then he acknowledged that he would never do that again because now he's a professional football player. But he's got that little bit of crazy in him, man. He kind of reminded me a little bit of Darius Slay, who was a cornerback for us, kind of just talking a little bit nutty, being kind of funny, just kind of putting on a show. But just you can tell he's got that little twitch in his eye, man. So I really like the way he was talking at the rookie minicamp. But good football player, 3rd round pick. We needed safety. I thought this was a good one. Just needs some time to develop, I think. So, good pick, Detroit Lions. All locked up, 4 years. Welcome to the D, Kerby. Let's go out there and bust some heads, brother. All right, go Lions. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button on the bottom right. Don't forget to hit the notification bell, get all my videos, and like and comment. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for the video. Go Lions. Let's go. Boom. One pride, baby.